No. Don't scream. 1 second. That's better. I can see you so much clearer. Oh, please don't scream. I really just cannot take it today. I honestly thought that with all that tossing and turning, you were surely having a nightmare. It's truly my mistake. I apologize. Oh, you were restless from insomnia. Oh, that's absolutely awful for the both of us, I'm sure. No, it's okay. You really needn't shout. It's quite rude, actually. What am I? It's a little rude to ask. Didn't you get taught to make a proper introduction before pointing fingers at what things are? Anyway, my name is Alinta. What is your name? Cat got your tongue now, I see. Look, it's quite alright. I understand your confusion. I'm actually quite rare. I'm actually not even sure there is another of me out there. You see, there isn't a name for me. My mother was an angel. A fallen angel. And my father is a demon. In order for them to be together, as their love is clearly quite forbidden, you know how heaven is a stickler for its rules, she had to snip the wings so that they could spend their mortal lives together. Her mortal life. My father, he's just a regular demon. He's a little less scrupulous. And they held no punishment for him. What am I doing in your room? Yes, well, as you may know, demons gain their sustenance from human souls and feed off the torment of them, but angels do their best to protect human souls, and so you can see I could go either way. Lucky for you, I assure you, even though I do technically feed off humans, it's not in a bad way. See, a succubus need just touch you in order to completely sap you off your life force. But I'm not like that. You see, I feed off of your mind, your thoughts. Some would argue the soul is the mind, and some would argue that the soul is the heart. But I'll let you in on a secret. The soul is both the mind and the heart, and neither the mind and the heart. It's quite simple, really, once you understand the ins and outs of it all. Irregardless, I assure you, I just lay in wait, hoping to hear stirrings and restlessnesses, and that is when I get to work. I'll absorb all your nightmares. All that nightmare fuel is my fuel for whatever it is that I am. And I gain my sustenance, and you lose your scary, terrible negativities. Win, wouldn't you say? It's true. Otherwise, why would I need to talk you down? I could have quite easily sucked up your soul in an instant, though perhaps keeping you afraid would actually work more in my favor. What am I actually doing here? Doesn't even make sense. Anyway, I basically just move around bedroom to bedroom, trying to find sleeping humans to remove their nightmares from. I'm doing you a favor, really. But I don't really live in the mortal plane, you see. I choose to live in hell. As you can imagine, heaven has some pretty strict door policies and wouldn't let me in whatsoever. Whatever. Obviously, they're still quite mad at my mother. I say, bygones be bygones, but they're not so forgiving. Funnily enough, though, aren't they the ones who are meant to forgive? Anyway, Lucifer hasn't set foot there since he was banished, and all he ever did was punish the bad. Isn't that a good thing? You tell me. It sounds like a good thing to me. Shouldn't he actually be rewarded? Right? That's what I think. Even though my mother, rest her soul, is long gone, she just sacrificed so much in the name of love. And I'm just not welcome because of her, because of what I am. I don't know how that's a bad thing. I don't know if they are frightened of me, or if I'm just not pure enough for the graces of heaven. But as I said, heaven, such a stickler. Their archaic rules. And yes, in hell I wouldn't say I'm positively welcome, per se, but they are more flexible. So, I'm able to live there, for the most part, and just visit the mortal plane for my nightly meal. Trust me, you'd be feeling so much better if you just drifted off to sleep and let me remove any of those nightmares that you might be having. I could give you a test run if you like. I can even remove memories, as they are splices of the soul in a way. Do you mind if I just take a wee little peek? I'll just be taking quite a tiny peek. It doesn't hurt at all. And all you have to do is stare into my eyes. As I said, utterly painless. What do you say? Very good. Okay. Just stare into my eyes now. Very good. Oh, my seat. That is so embarrassing. Are you sure you want that memory? Because I'm positively mortified. And I wasn't even there. I mean, I legitimately am suffering from second-hand embarrassment right now. Just seeing that, let alone actually living it. You know what I'm talking about. I can remove it for you. I promise. You won't even remember having that memory at all. That's the spirit. See, it's totally worth a try. It's okay. As I promised, you won't feel anything. Just slight confusion for a second. And that second might not ever go away, because you're trying to rack your brain over what you're forgetting, but it's gone. Poof. Okay. Alright. Here goes. Try as you might, you won't ever remember that embarrassing memory. What memory? Actually, that ought to keep me satiated for the meanwhile, but somehow it's just made me even more hungry. Will you please go back to sleep soon so I can have a proper meal? You can't just fall back asleep? Well, let me see if I can help you with that. I could pat your head and tell you the story of my life, so that you can understand that I'm nothing to be feared. And it's immensely boring, so you should be sure to fall fast asleep. How does that sound? Perfect. Well, let's see if I can help you with that. I suppose I should start from the very beginning. It's such a very good place to start. I'm not sure if you remember the day that you were born, but I most certainly do. It was much like any other childbirth, but once I was held in my mother's arms, I knew I was loved, and that my parents loved each other so very much. For all they had to sacrifice to be together. I grew quicker than most. My entire childhood lasted but mere months, growing at an alarming rate every day. By the time I was 6 months, I was fully grown into this form. As you can see now. I had extraordinary learning abilities. I picked up everything on instant. You see, babies need to try and try again to learn how to walk. But not me. When on my first step, I had already mastered it. Everything in life came easy for me. Except one thing. I never really fit in anywhere. The angels most certainly did not accept me. And the demons were not as welcoming either. They seemed to treat me with the same disdain as I feel about angels. I suppose that's some instant karma for me there. I guess I'm not evil enough. really much for my father's devilry. But I mean, if hell can be full of human souls, even someone like me should have quite a developed demonic side. I hardly see why my father would even entertain the thought of being with an angel. Perhaps because it was taboo, or that she somehow had everything that he was interested in. I'm not so sure. But now that she's gone, because mortals only have so long in this earthly plane, and she had to give up her wings and immortality to be with my father. He is still lamenting for her, and it's been quite a while. I don't suppose he shall ever get over it, as I wouldn't. But I look at her memory with fondness. It has been a while, I suppose. He shall never get over it, as I wouldn't. But I look at her memory with fondness. She was the best mother anyone, any half-demon, half-angel could have. I felt like I belonged with her and my father. Though, right now, my father is dealing with things not quite as well as I am, and he is keeping to himself. I'll admit, I had quite a rough time myself. And I may have done some things I didn't know I could, and I'm not proud of. But I've now realized that the best way to honor my mother and her memory is to be as good as I can be, because I know that's what she wanted from me. And she wanted me to forgive the angels for kicking us out. But I suppose that will take some more time. The time I have. Unlike her. I'm just trying to survive. Trying to gain sustenance over the unwanted slivers of souls, maybe mites, and making do, but it's awfully lonely. It's sure nice to finally talk to someone about it. I don't really get that chance. Most of the people I hate are memories from are fast asleep and not much company, if I'm honest, on account of them being unconscious. I'm not much for the screaming and wailing. I do wonder if I'm doomed to an eternity of loneliness, never belonging. There isn't quite anyone like me. Not that I've seen, though I've searched. I suppose it's quite difficult for a human and a half-fallen angel, half-demon, to be in cohorts, really. They're quite chalk and cheese, wouldn't you say? I don't understand that saying. No one would eat chalk, usually. I suppose that's the point. The chalk and cheese are really, truly quite different. Do they even look the same? I'm really quite unsure why they pair them. Anyway, between my stays in hell. Side note, honestly, it's rather dull there. You'd think it would be lots of fun and parties, but it's more souls torturing themselves with their own guilt. And quiet always, with falling shh. Always that never end. You could just walk down them, door after door after door. Endless doors to everyone's own personal hell. It's a rather glum place, actually. The souls themselves are lots of fun, but they're far too busy in their own hell loops, reliving their worst moments of their life over and over, feeling that guilt, and that doesn't make for excellent company. I guess in a way, it's why I don't encourage souls to go there like other demons do. In fact, demons like to possess humans and make them do evil things. It doesn't quite count. But at other times they like to influence people to bring their souls to hell, so they have more souls to torture. I'm really unsure how that would benefit me, though. If anything, I should be encouraging people to have nightmares, so I have more meals, for there is more than enough to go around. So no need for that extra effort on my part. There's only one of me. I suppose I just exist. As I was saying, between my stays in hell, I float between the worlds, spending my nights in the mundane, eating, and my days now being bored in hell. It would be so nice to have some company. It's a shame I'll have to wipe your memory of this event too. Oh, don't worry. You won't remember a thing. What? That's the very thing you're frightened of? Why on earth would you be frightened of not remembering me? Oh, thank you. I've never had anyone call me not so bad before. That's what I try to convince them. I'm just glad I got to know on this occasion that it has finally sunken in. We are not what we are, but who we are, you know. You're a human. You could be evil, or you could be good. And I am the spawn of an angel, and that had fallen, and a demon. And I like to think I'm rather good. I mean, nobody is perfect. I just wish I could. I mean, how would our friendship ever work? No one could ever see me. I'd have to be a secret. humans don't tend to take quite as well to me as you have. Who knows what it would do to their psyche and the world's psyche, and to you, the ridicule. You know, even though I walk the veil of darkness of night, I feel I am so deep into the shadows that I am invisible. There has been many moments when I should have been spotted, but I swear only certain types of people can actually see me. Maybe those tainted with a darkness, or those with abilities, or beliefs. I do not know. I've seemingly managed to walk right in front of people without even a blink of an eye, or even being noticed. I don't want to even test this theory. I really rather like to keep to myself. I'm frightened. Yes, I too can be frightened. Children screams at the sight of me. Even adults releasing their blood-curdling screams. And then they think I'm the night terror. The very thing I'm there to eat. Then they wake up the next morning, and I've consumed it up, and no one knows I'm there or what I did. I think it's best to keep myself a secret. I'm not really frightened of what might happen to me. I'm pretty strong and fast, but I guess I can only take so much of the screams and religious chanting and holy water being splashed my way. That stuff doesn't even sting, for the record. It's just cold, and I hate the cold. It just gets really, really old along the eons. Kinda just gets to, you know, your patience in it wanes. You know, perhaps I won't erase your memory of me. It doesn't seem to be a very negative one, by the looks of things, and I can't bring myself to erase good memories. Therefore, open-minded human, I suppose you get your wish. Perhaps I may come to visit you tomorrow night, and we can hang out some more. I'd like that very much. Well then, it's a deal. I shall keep you company at night, when you can't sleep, and you can keep me company before my meal. It's like dinner and a movie, except movie for you. Well, more like a discussion and a dinner for me, and a dream in your case. Right. Just rest your head. I won't go. It seems it is best for both of us. I'll just be here, waiting for you to sleep. And if you do have a nightmare, I'll slope it straight up, and you'll be off into a blissful, heavenly slumber. How does that sound? Good. Shh, 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 shh. It's going to be okay. You won't be having any